Hey, what's up you guys? Here's a nice little quickie for you, and it's got a really interesting little position in this. So it's a 10-minute rapid game. My opponent's rated 1450, I'm rated about the same, and we will just dive in. So we have a Sicilian, so I'm playing the Grand Prix because it features an F-pawn move, there you go, and still waiting for the knight. Now this I think is probably an error already in this position because well, anytime there's a pawn, you don't really want to throw your knight out onto a square where it could get immediately kicked. So I push e5, and the knight actually here has to retreat. I mean, it can't. It's like the Vienna Gambit, you know. It can't go there or there, and it can't go there or there because the f-pawn has moved. Okay, so there's only really one option here. So he's lost two moves because that knight's come out and gone back in again. Okay, and so I play knight to f3. He prepares to fianchetto by the look of things, which is a little bit odd considering that bishop's going to be staring at the pawns. I develop my bishop. He pushes another pawn forward, so very, very weak dark squares here already. I castle, fianchettos the bishop, and now I spy a lovely hole here for my knight. Because of all these dark squared pawn pushes, you know, he's really made himself vulnerable here. So my knight's wanting to head into d6 with check, which would force the king to move. The only way to stop it really would be to retreat the bishop one more time so that the bishop could capture the knight if it goes to d6, but he doesn't do that. Instead, he pushes another pawn onto another light square. So now he's got 7 pawns all on light squares and massive holes in there. Now, knight to d6, and the king now comes to here. So I now throw d4 because my principle, I'm working on the idea that, okay, king is stuck in the middle of the board, can't castle, my king is safe, what do you want to do? Blow up the middle of the board. Relatively simple. He takes, I take with the knight, he takes with the knight, I take with the queen. So I'm quite happy now about this. His only developed piece is the bishop, well, apart from the king, right? And the bishop's got no future here at all. And it's going to be time now to unleash some evil. Okay, so the first thing that I do here, if you maybe have a think about what you might do in this position. I play queen to c5 because I'm preparing discovered check on the king. So I figure I could, for example, capture with my knight there, which would win the queen. I could even capture the bishop, and so on and so forth. Opponent now pushes pawn to b6, and this is the point that we want to stop and see if you can figure out the best continuation here for white. So please feel free to pause the video, give yourself as much time as you need, because this is really nice. I don't find it, by the way. I kind of do by accident, but it's there's actually. So if you've paused, if you found it, if you found mate in 2, then wow, because that's what I think is on the board here. So what I realise here is that I can move my knight, actually move it to a couple of squares, with check, right? And a discovered check by the queen. Now, what do we all know about a double check? Whenever there is a double check, a king is checked by 2 pieces at once, the king has to move, right? All the time. So I figure I can take this bishop for free. And then I realise, again, because of this very sloppy knight development inviting e5 earlier on in the game, the king can't come here, right? So if I take that, the king can't go anywhere on this dark diagonal, so he's going to be forced back to e8. And that's what I do. Okay, king goes back to e8, then I think, well, okay, my queen is still under attack, but bring him back. And the king here has 2 squares, both of which can fall to another discovery. So he comes back here. In fact, can he go there? But either way, I mean, I've still got ideas of this, but still have to remember it has to... Yeah, if I give check only with the queen, then black can get out of check by capturing the queen with the pawn. Okay, so he comes back here. Now I play knight to f5 because I think, oh look, I can pick up a bishop, right? And interestingly, this is the last move of the game. Why is it the last move of the game? Well, black resigns because... Okay, so he's in check by the queen, so he can't go here or here, can't stay where he is, and he can't come here because of the pawn. Okay, so the king is going to be forced back there, and then it's actually mate. Knight takes g7. The queen is covering these, king's in check, and complete checkmate. Right? You can't block a knight check, so he'd have to capture the knight. He can't capture the knight, and the king can't move. Would be checkmate. And what that means is that, in fact, from this position, this was the continuation. Knight f5 check. Again, only one legal move, and then that would be checkmate. And isn't that a beauty to find? And to think that my queen was just sitting there on prise the whole time, but still being able to be part of the checkmating blood frenzy. So that was really, really gorgeous. So we've actually got a... Yeah, I've got a new kind of product or program for the Chess Bootcamp Live members here, where you drill these. So we're actually collecting a lot of these great positions, and this one has been added to my checkmates. Well, one of my checkmates studies, but this is exclusive to the Chess Bootcamp Live thing. If you've ever come across the woodpecker method, and somebody, sorry, I can't remember your name, somebody's recommended to me the woodpecker method, and I actually purchased the Lichess course on the woodpecker method. It was originally a book, and just in brief, the way that it works is that you get a set of 250 positions, or like puzzles that you have to solve, and there's only one correct solution. Now they actually come in kind of, you know, entry level, medium, and hard. I've bought it in Lichess form. So the idea of the method is you work through them. You are drilling your pattern recognition. You're burning it into the synapses of your brain. So you work through them until you've completed it all, and you see how long did it take you? Did it take you 30 days, right? Then you try and reduce that time. So you go over that the same set of puzzles again, right? Try and do it in less time, until you can complete that set of puzzles within one 24-hour period. And this is really for kind of titled players, expert players, titled players who really want to just step up to the next level, because you're just drilling your pattern recognition. I thought this is a great idea, but when I started going through the Chessable course on the woodpecker method, it's good, but it's not really suitable for the lower end of the intermediates. It seems to be like a 1500 up kind of deal. These puzzles really are quite tough, and I'm only in the easy set right now. I haven't even looked at the medium and the hard. So it got me thinking, well, the principle there works exactly the same for beginners and improving players. So could we create something else? So I've found a way. I'm using Lichess Studies with the interactive lesson analysis feature to start to build these collections, because I've been saving hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different positions from my own games over the years, and now they are starting to find their way into Lichess Studies. So it's really interesting, and I might show you one or two of those as a little teaser, and but if you want to have complete access to all of them, then you will need to join Chess Bootcamp Live. But there we go, just trying to add value there for our subscribers, which I think is fair enough. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.